Michael has a program about that's the second kind of cohort soon about helping people market their short-term rental uh, outside of Airbnb to get more direct booking. If Michael wants to find people and offer this as a free service, how would he know that somebody has an Airbnb rental? Because that person probably has a job, so their profile probably doesn't even say anything about a Airbnb rental. So how would you go about actually DMing people like that with your messaging?
Yeah. Okay. So just so I can understand, are you going to show people how to buy Airbnbs
No,
to
my
turn?
scenario is they already own an Airbnb, and I basically will help them market their Airbnb. Get a direct booking website, leverage Instagram, email marketing, SEO to a degree, influencers to drive more direct bookings and therefore keep the 17% cut that would otherwise go to Airbnb while also generating more traffic, because otherwise you're kind of the in the hands of Airbnb to decide what traffic goes to your property.
Gotcha. And how much do you sell that for?
The program, there's two different versions because there's a there's a website offering that's 1,000, but the actual program itself, there's a 1,000 for the general one and 2,000 for the mastermind version of it.
Gotcha. And you sell through cohorts or sales call, or how's it sold?
Cohorts. The first launch was literally actually some of the cold outreach through some groups in that case that were that I knew through some Facebook groups, which is probably here answering Art's question. That's probably that LinkedIn. It's the question about how easy LinkedIn is, because I've actually tried LinkedIn around some of this, and that's been part of that challenge is they don't necessarily identify when they're a single property owner sometimes on LinkedIn. So I guess part of that question then comes down to is, I guess it's possible that there are some fields like this that maybe LinkedIn's not the right fishing hole. And I guess that's kind of where you're going with it, Arden. Or if I
That's exactly
crack
like,
that
like
nut.
if you don't know somebody is wants something from their profile, how would you find them to offer your free service as a new business owner?
Definitely. In this situation, I probably wouldn't advise someone to start with this offer. But in this offer situation, you would look to go hyper niche and double down on the content to begin with. And so first step would be, so we've got a client in our program, Pedro. He helps people who want to start an e-commerce company to sell stuff online. So it's a biz op offer. So they come from any business. So for him, he doesn't know what's going on with them. So what he has to do is he has to create content to start conversations to build that trust. I would look to go extremely hyper niche with your content, reposition your whole profile to only talking about making money on Airbnbs. Every piece of content I would make would be tailored around that. And then past that point, I would make it your number one goal to build an email list. And all that email list does is it teaches people how to make more money with their Airbnb. That's it. And then what I would do, your sell by chat strategy that you would have is every profile viewer or every connection request that comes to you or every person that likes and engages on your stuff, I would do that as an inbound led outbound, start a conversation with them. Because if you only produce content about that, then only people who are interested in that will actually engage on the content. So that's in a situation where I wouldn't advise people starting out to do that. But if you were to do that, it's going to have to be content led. Later on, you're probably going to run ads and stuff like that. But the key thing in this scenario is going to be the positioning and hyper niching to the extent where the big issue people have on LinkedIn is their profile speaks to multiple audiences. I just had a chat with someone on LinkedIn who has 90,000 followers. They run into an issue where they're making only 25 grand a month. They want to make 100K. The problem with their offering is they're positioning one-to-one coaching. They're positioning some group thing, some high ticket B2B sales thing. And they've got 5 call to actions on their profile, which is like a massive mistake because it confuses the person. So you've got to double down on like the one thing that you're doing that you want to drive traffic to. But that's what I do in that circumstance, say with LinkedIn, because your program is expensive enough that sell by chat is good. If your program was like $200, I'd be like, LinkedIn is probably not the thing for you. Just because it's not. LinkedIn's B2B usually or high ticket B2C, either or. So like mortgage brokers, financial advisors.
That makes sense.
And makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And I think in our scenario too, where we have happened to focus that